with a real racket going on, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bud-Induction-Outdoor. Dr. Muehlheisen was not only considered the best racquetball and baseball player of the 1960s, he was the first player inducted into the Racquetball Hall of Fame in 1974. I was a senior. Dr. Bud began playing in 1962. He won 4 national titles. He took up paddleball, racquetball, and won the first national championship in a sport that became racquetball, beating a guy you may have heard of, Charlie Brumfeld. Dr. Bud also served the game off the court as well as on. He served as the IRA Board of Directors, and for 7 years he served as the first Rules Committee Chairman. He was instrumental in forming the rules that we still play by today. He's won an unprecedented 41 national titles. He's a coach, a teacher, a contributor to helping produce products that you play with today. In 1980, he was elected to the San Diego Hall of Champions, the premier sports museum in San Diego. In 1994, he was the official organization for amateur racquetball in the United States. They established the Bud Muehlheisen Age Group Award, which has been given out every year to the most exceptional racquetball player in their age group competition. In 1974, I used to play a guy, Jewish attorney. His name was Mr. Meisel. He was a very annoying man. And one day in the court, he pulled out a racket, and I said, "What the hell is that?" And he said, "It's a Muehlheisen." And I said, "A Muehlheisen? What the hell is that?" And he said, "It's the greatest racquetball player ever. And this is his racket." And I said, "Then why are you playing with it?" And I went on to beat him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Bud-Induction-Outdoor. Come in the front. Ladies and gentlemen, and now to present the award to this great racquetball player and doctor, I got to tell you this story. In 1980, when I was headlining the Comedy Store in San Diego, in La Jolla, I loved to play racquetball during the day. And I went and I was dying to get a game. It was 2:30 in the afternoon, everybody was at work. But there was one gentleman in the court playing, and he was practicing. And I yelled down to him, "Hey, you wanna play a game?" And he goes, no, I'm just practicing. I said, "Please, just one game." The guy said, "No." I walked away, came back 10 minutes later. I was ready to say to the guy, "I'll give you 10 points to 15. And another guy walked up to me, looked in the court and went, "Oh, Brumfeld," and he walked away. And I went, "What?" And he goes, "That's Charlie Brumfeld." And I had to change my pants. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Charlie Brumfeld.
Are you videoing it?
Would you like to say a couple words?
I'd like to say just a couple of words about my old friend Dr. Muehlheisen and give you a little bit of explanation on how it was that he was able to dominate the game in both indoor and outdoor and had such a fantastic career. One of the things that used to happen in the 40s and the 50s, that's the 1900s, is the people would play different sports in different times of the year. It's not like now where if you become a racquetball player, maybe that's all you do. So Muehlheisen was a champion tennis player and played for the championship college team in Berkeley in 1951. He was a champion badminton player. Now, if you know anything about the old tennis game, it was played with a very heavy wooden racket at that period of time. And badminton is an extraordinary physical game where you do a lot of snapping of your wrist and you do a lot of flipping with the ball. So Muehlheisen came into the sport with the ability to control the face of his racket, because those games, you have to, for instance, in tennis, if you fly the ball beyond where you want it to go, it goes out of the court. Muehlheisen had learned to do two things that he used to become the best player of his era. One is he controlled the top of the racket, very similar to what I'm seeing with the top outdoor players, where he controls the top of his racket and he keeps the ball down in an area where the ball doesn't fly. Secondly, he could short hop the ball like you see if you see the old tennis players play. They short hop the ball. So what happened in his game is he developed a style that had more shots from different heights and using his wrist in a different way and having the short hop available to him, and he never hit the ball out. When he played indoor, his ball did not go off the back wall. When he played outdoor, he was able to keep the ball in the court even when people were hitting at him with pace. That's a huge advantage. And he was the only person that I ever played that had that ability to control the face of the paddle from all areas of his swing and did not hit with great power, but hit it with such good control that he was able to dominate with that. Secondly, he never tired. And when he came outdoors in 1974, when we played in that first national tournament, he played on cement all his life in tennis. He had hit overheads out of the sun all his life in tennis. He had the flick of his wrist from badminton, and he got to utilize all of those because our friends in the three-wall division would always put us on the court at the very time the sun was cresting. I've told you that before, and they're here today to admit to this fault. But Muehlheisen was able to do that. Now, I think that Bud is on the periphery of discussions in racquetball about the greatest of all time. He's not Cliff Swain or Sudsy or Marty Hogan or Kane, but he's in the second group in the discussion along with me and a couple of other luminaries. So getting in the Hall of Fame is the credential that allows you some bragging rights. Now, it's too late for him to become the first player admitted to both the indoor and the outdoor. That's right. Now, when I accepted my award, I talked about the rear view mirror. I hadn't anticipated Muehlheisen coming up behind me because he has the additional criteria of being the first player ever in the indoor. Now, while he has been in Minnesota, I have gone and politicked my entry into the Paddleball Hall of Fame. And there's no one left living that's ever seen him play paddleball and knows how good he is, and I'm not telling. So I'm suspecting that rear view mirror will be with us for a long time. But you're seeing a legend. You're seeing a guy that I've known now for 51 years. He is a consummate professional. He has been responsible for the growth of both indoor and racquetball and outdoor racquetball to the point where it's just my privilege to be here in his presence. This is not an ordinary HOF display. This is the best that ever played. Now, I've got two people here that would like to say a word about Dr. Muehlheisen. Both of them are in the Outdoor Hall of Fame. So I'd like to ask Barry Wallace to step briefly to the microphone and say a few words, and then we have Bob Wetzel, and then we'll present the trophy to Dr. Muehlheisen, which is so richly deserved. This is Barry Wallace. I don't have time to say anything nice about him, and based on our matches, I don't have anything nice to say.
I'm not surprised by that at all, Charlie. I just want to real quickly say something about the doctor, so all of us really realize what happened. In 1973, we tried to get the outdoor racquetball idea started. Outdoor national racquetball idea. We've been running tournaments throughout California on our scale in California, outdoor people, but we really wanted to find out the outdoor people could compete against the best people in the world, who were indoor players, who were professionals, who were good. Dr. Bud and Charlie Brumfield, in 1974, our first ever national tournament, worked hard and got all of the, if I remember right, we had every single professional player, first 2 years there at Orange Coast College, the tournament, so we could say that whoever won the tournament was truly the national champion. If you were just playing against us outdoor people, that's one thing, but we wanted to find out whether we could compete with the top players in the world, so that was a gift given to us by these two people, Dr. Bud and Brum, who got these professionals there, who played in our tournaments, who won our tournaments. Both of them did win our top awards, our tournaments, and justifiably so. They were outstanding players. I can't get into what was talked about Dr. Bud. I mean, it's amazing, right? What he's accomplished in life, that's pretty doggone good and all justified. But I wanted you to know today, before you go, shake this guy's hand, because he is really the reason why this is so successful. I don't know how many years later, a lot of years later, I know that. But they're the reason it is as good as it is today, and it was from the very, very first one. The best people were there, and you need to thank them if you get a chance. And then lastly, Charlie needs to talk about, before you go, which I know you're not done here, I know. Before you go, talk about when you first came to Orange Coast College and you two decided to play for the first time the day before. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, because of Mr. Brumfield's speech, we have no more time. The tournament is over. So please pack up your things and go home. No, it was, listen, it's great to always hear from Charlie Brumfield. How about another hand for Charlie? But we are running out of time. We want to get back to the matches. So we have another inductee we have to get to. So for all those other stories, you can go to charliebrumfield.com, and he'll do a webcast, and he doesn't wear pants when he does it, so it'll be exciting. So how about a few words here from our first inductee, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bud.
Thank you very much. This whole thing for me was a labor of love, truly was. I have a background of playing other sports, and so does many of you do, but when we took the challenge of coming outdoors, we thought it was going to be a walk in the park, and boy did we find out different. This is a different game, requires so much more in certain areas, and certainly learning the angles without a back wall or a full side wall or a ceiling. But we fell so much in love with it, and so many wonderful people, and we ran right into the finest competitive doubles team we ever played in Barry and Bob. And we had some Donnybrooks, and they were fun, and they are everlasting memories. And I just, being here today is truly gratifying. I mean, I'm just thankful. I hate posthumous awards, and you made it in time, so it's good. And I didn't want to mail it in, but I made it here. But I got a late start in racquetball. The first tournament I was 38, so first tournament here I was 43, and that was in 74, and now I'm older than dirt, and so but I'm hanging around. But anyway, I want to thank everybody, and especially the committee for pulling my name out of the bag or whatever, and those that run the association, starting with Hank Marcus, your director, and it's Lorenz, Gary, and then Brett Elkins is the workhorse behind this whole thing. He's over here, and he's put this together, and give him a round of applause. Anyway, we're out of time, fortunately. I have a lot of stories. I'm not going to take your time. You want to come around, I'll tell you some. But anyway, thank all of you. Thank you for being here. And I had a couple of kids come from way out of town today. Where's Craig? There's Craig, my son, and my daughter Karen, two over. She's from Walla Walla, and he's from Mammoth Lakes. And thank you all. Love the games. Reach back and help people.